Hi, it's Peter here, and I'm here with Bill this morning. How are you, Bill?
Good, thanks, Peter.
And we're talking chasing and repousse tools. Bill, what is chasing and repousse to start with?
So chasing repousse is the art form of moving metal into a 3D shape, design, sculpture, and that's achieved by using various tools and hammers to push the metal from the back to the front and then defining those shapes from the front to the back. So the chasing side is pushing from the front, the repousse side is pushing from the back of the piece.
Beautiful. Well, I'll let Bill explain that. I'm going to move from this side of the bench to the other, and we'll resume in a second. So, Bill, I understand we've got two sets of chasing and repousse tools. Could you please go through those for us?
Yes, definitely. So the first set we have is a 12-piece set. This is a new product that we have online at the moment. It's broken down into basically 4 types of tools. You have your liners. The liners are for basically defining your shape and redefining your shapes. You also have curved liners in here, and that just allows you to go through sharp bends with a bit more accuracy rather than using the straight liners.
Now, Bill, just before you go on, could you just give a close-up of each of
Yes,
those?
certainly. Apologise for that. So that one there is a broad liner. The broad liner allows you to do long and large lines and definitions of your shapes. So it doesn't have a very sharp edge on this one. You don't want to cut your metal. And we also have very small liners. These are sharper to give you finer lines as well. The next thing we have is the curved liners. So the curved liners allow you to go through sharp curves on a piece and help define oval aspects of your design as well. So there's 4 different sizes and shapes of theirs, including a soft one, so that's quite a soft curve, and that allows you to track a curve very nicely compared to the straight liners. The other section we have here is the embossers and the pushers. So this has a very nice curved polished surface, so that's an embossing tool. The flatter, slightly flatter ones are your pushers, and you use these ones to push from the back of the metal to define your depth of your shapes and your designs.
Beauty. So that's a 12-piece set we've got there.
This is a 12-piece set just here, and that covers the full range of the tools you require if you're starting out. You also have planishing tools. So the purpose of the planishing tools is after you've done your initial design, you can come back and just flatten out and even out your design a bit more, making it a bit more even. And you do that from the front normally with a straight flat surface, and these are highly polished as well.
And then you've got another set here, Bill. These look a little bit bigger.
Yes, so this is a 20-piece set, so this is an expansion onto the small set. So you have a very wide range of liners with this one, including the large, broad liner again, but you have a lot more choices with the liners in this case. So you can do quite large pieces, and you can do very small pieces as well. You also have a larger range of curved liners. So for your larger pieces, a lot of artisans would probably go down this path and use the large liners. And we also have your embossing tools or your pushers through here again. And we have planishers as well. Sorry about this. So you've got a broader range of planishers and various shapes to define this. You can use the planishers as a bit of a pusher as well. You just have to watch the edges and the corners. What we also have to accompany all this is our range of pitch and chasing hammers and pitch bowls. So the purpose of using the chasing tools is to push and move the metal away and get your 3D shapes. To do that effectively, you need a little bit of resistance. You just can't push in the air. So what we have is red German pitch. Let's bring that forward to this one. Red German pitch. Now the red German pitch is quite good in that is when you heat it up, it doesn't go to liquid quite a lot. It tends to stay goopy, which is good because you can still sink your piece in there to work on, and it sets and hardens quite quickly too. So that's very handy, for example, in Queensland where it gets quite hot, or your Northern Territory areas. Works very well, doesn't smell if you happen to heat it up a little bit too much like the black German pitch, which is a petroleum based one. So that's a really good product to start off with as well.
So Bill, that's as hard as a brick. So you break that up with a hammer.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Put some in your pitch bowl. Now, you gave us a tip about putting something else in your pitch bowl first. Some
Yeah,
plaster
so
Paris.
to use this, you don't use it as this is just how we're supplied. So we put this into a pitch bowl. And the whole idea of the pitch bowl is to give you a solid, secure surface to do your chasing repoussé. It also allows you to rotate your piece at a right angle so you can work on it. Now, to get the pitch into the pitch bowl, the easiest way is to put the pitch into a plastic bag, secure plastic bag, hit it with a hammer until it breaks up into small pieces, and then you'll put it in your pitch bowl and heat it with a hot air gun. So the hot air gun is safer than using a torch because the torch can actually smoke it and deteriorate your pitch. So a hot air gun is a very effective way of getting it in there. To save your pitch, to get more miles for your pitch if you like, what you can do on the bottom of your pitch bowl is half fill it up with plaster of Paris, instant cement, anything that's going to go very solid on the base. Then you put your pitch in and you're only using half the amount of pitch. That way, if you wanted to, you could have one pitch bowl here, you can make another pitch bowl for a bracelet, for example, and you get more mileage out of your pitch that way.
That's a good pitch for saving your pitch. Thank you.
Yes,
Bill.
yes. To effectively use the chasing repoussé tools, you need a chasing hammer. So the chasing hammer has a very large flat head on this. It also has a very effective ergonomical handle, and that just allows you to drift your piece in without missing. So the large head does that. A neat trick if you keep mishitting, so what some people might do is hit it on an angle and everything just moves in a weird angle. A neat trick is lift your elbow up. If you lift your elbow up, you will hit straight. If you drop your elbow, you will hit it crooked. So that's another tip for people just starting out. Lift the elbow.
Great tip.
I have a piece here that we just had a play with on a train, of all places. So it's just a little puppy dog that we did in some very thin sheeting. Using the tools like this is quite a thin sheet, so I didn't actually use the hammer for this, I just used force using these tools. And you can see from the back here how it's pushed in, so this is the negative side. So I've pushed in to get the broad shape, and then from the front I've redefined the shapes with a planisher around there to give the definition.
Can I just bring that closer to the camera?
Yep.
So there's the front, and then there's the back. Thank you.
That's good. So this is a great technique for doing things like earrings, pendants, rings, even just decorative pieces. Personally, what I like to do is I do some medieval illuminations for books, and that's very, very enjoyable process to do. I've got two finishes on this. We'll get this up close. You can see there's two finishes on this. So one side is a high shine, and I've used the yellow Brill polish with a 3 felt mop to get the high shine. On this side here is the yellow Brill.
Okay.
And that'll give you a high shine and gets the minor scratches out. If you prefer, you can also use a Habris wheel, and the Habris wheel is on this side, and it gives a more of a matte look, but still does clean up your scratches, still does move metal, and that's another way to finish your pieces. The advantage of the Habris wheel is the fingers on that will actually get into the grooves quite nicely, and I'll just show you a Habris wheel. So what I have here is a Habris wheel. So this is a fine mounted, but you can get coarse and unmounted ones that are finer as well for smaller pieces. So the fingers in there just get right into your grooves. The advantage of using the Habris silicone wheels is that you don't have to polish, you don't have to clean up your polish afterwards. So you can finish your piece and it's done. If you use any cutting compounds and polishes, for example, if you're using the yellow Brill, you will have to clean the polish off at the end, that's all. But this gives a very good shine. So it depends on your personal preference with that one.
Well done, Bill. Thank you so much for that journey through the chasing and repoussé tools at AJS. We'll have details at the end of this video on how you can get those. And isn't Bill's expertise amazing? Now, he's just a typical AJS employee in the showroom. Along with Bill's works in the Brisbane showroom, along with Mark and Morgan, Renata and Andrew, and they all have incredible expertise in various aspects of jewellery making. So if you need some help, just pop into your local AJS showroom, because there's people like them all around Australia. So just pop into the local showroom and just go through what you're having issues with, and they'll be only too happy to help you. Thank you so much, Bill, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Peter. See you guys.